And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hi, Monica.
This is our WOW engagement ring for Christmas.
Wow.
Wow.
It features a 1-carat created diamond center stone.
Completely surrounded by a halo of little created diamonds that makes it look huge.
And each of those 3 bands is covered in diamonds.
I've never seen anything like it.
2 carats total weight.
There's no way this is less than $5,000.
No, we're selling these for half that much.
$24.98? I need to lie down and put a cool rag on my forehead.
And you can choose a 1-carat round, oval, or radiant diamond as your center stone.
Kessler's is the coolest store in the world.
But there's more. Look at this.
It's a matching pendant. Take that rag off your head and get up, Rick. You have to see this.
How big is that?
It's a 1.5-carat created diamond, surrounded by the same halo of little created diamonds. 2 1/3 carats total weight.
This tag says it's just $1,998.
See it for yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Protect mom's assets. Protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, November 27th. Your top story, a former student resource officer goes to jail.
I'm Adam Roberts in for Jessica Ty. Thefts on the rise for an everyday personal device.
Mostly cloudy today, a high of 41 degrees. Clouds continue through the overnight at a low of 26. Partly cloudy, a chance of flurries later in the evening on Thursday, and a high of 35. 36 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. A former school resource officer from Kewaskum gets jail time for bestiality. Former SRO Steven Rosales will serve 2 years in jail after being found guilty on 3 felony charges. Police discovered photos and text messages of the actions while investigating Rosales for an alleged inappropriate relationship with a student at the Kewaskum High School where he previously served as an SRO. Rosales posted $40,000 bond in that case, but is being transferred to the Fond du Lac County Jail. He's due back in court in January.
Are Milwaukee Public Schools at risk by not having student resource officers in place? That is the idea for Wisconsin State Senator John Jagler, telling WTMJ that if MPS does not adhere to state law, funding could be cut.
Guess what's going to happen when I try to go to my colleague, if I'm on the chair of the Senate Education Committee, and say, hey, guys, we need some more money for special education funding. MPS needs some more funding. Guess what's going to happen? What's the response going to be? I'm guessing it's going to be pretty bad. I don't know how we can go to the table in good faith when we don't have a good faith partner on the other side.
Jagler says last year, Milwaukee police responded to over 30 incidents per week at MPS schools, averaging to 7 responses per day.
A warning about a rash of iPhone thefts across the country. Thieves are hitting up homes where phones have been delivered and may be disguised as legitimate delivery personnel. ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Just last month in Virginia, a doorbell camera captured a suspect stealing an iPhone package and pulling a gun on an eyewitness riding his lawnmower. It's one of more than 75 incidents reported in Northern Virginia alone. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News thieves are specifically targeting AT&T customers who order new iPhones and have them delivered to their home.
In New York City, police have recorded more than 50 thefts of new iPhones ordered from AT&T.
Working to protect Wisconsin's family farms. Executive Director at Tall Pines Conservancy Susan Buchanan tells WTMJ's The Upswing the state needs to act to protect small family farms.
It's about farmland access. It's about young farmers being able to afford land and to farm, and it's also about the next generation.
Buchanan is asking the state legislature to put $25 million into the Property Assessed Clean Energy, or PACE program, to help fund improvements, making farms more profitable and sustainable. Buchanan says that would help create around 22,000 acres of protected farmland and create hundreds of jobs.
Well, Wisconsin is home to some wacky world records, such as the largest Smurf collection. How about the largest cheese platter? You bet, right here in the Dairy State. But there's one record that seems most fitting for Thanksgiving.
Stephen Ruppel of Wausau holds the world record for the fastest time to drink 1 liter of gravy. His record, 38.2 seconds. But most people Ruppel interacts with ask him the same question. Why?
So this one just seemed to be very interesting, and I really felt in my heart this record belongs in Wisconsin.
Ruppel says there was no real training in getting the record.
I will admit I will have a McDonald's milkshake every now and again, which is a similar sort of sucking motion. But I do like physical challenges.
Sean Brindup, WTMJ News.
Yeah, you don't want to be adding more flour to that gravy, right? You want a thinner consistency.
Oh my God, thick gravy, trying to guzzle that in 38 seconds. Ugh, I'm kind of getting sick thinking about it.
Oh, we got a test for you later in the show, Adam.
Uh-oh. Time for news about your money. How about that? The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Ooh, not great news either for the majors. The Dow down 52 points this hour, 44,808, while the NASDAQ is off 220 points this morning, sitting at 18,955, and the S&P 500 back down below 6,000 points, off 32 this morning at 5,990. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Signing at Limited. WTMJ News Time is 11:05.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Keep the elements out of your home with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
We had howling wind coming through. The rooms were freezing. We were very apprehensive about changing them because we were worried about losing the charm of the home. We went with Pella because we knew that they had an amazing reputation. We knew that they were going to have the windows that would look like they'd been there forever, but with all the functionality that a window should have.
Order from Pella today and get no interest and no payments for 12 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 11/30/2024.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Injuries to Jair Alexander, Edgerrin Cooper, and Romeo Dobbs could leave the Packers shorthanded. They'll take on the Dolphins Thursday night at Lambeau. Forecast for Thursday's game calls for temperatures somewhere in the 20s at kickoff.
I would prefer to be in an indoor stadium where you don't got to worry about any of those conditions affecting, throwing and things like that. But at the same time, I definitely think it is our advantage playing here. We practice in the weather every day in the cold, so especially a team coming from Miami, I'll take that any day.
It's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. College basketball tonight, 10th-ranked Marquette takes on Stonehill. The Skyhawks are visiting Fiserv Forum. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 7:30. Stonehill College is a private Catholic college in Easton, Massachusetts, for those keeping score at home. And the Badgers women's volleyball team takes on Ohio State tonight. Hear the match on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 7 o'clock.
How about those roads? Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. A getaway day for many today. We had the morning rush of people heading out earlier. Right now, the map is looking excellent. Only one issue, and that's just a broken down vehicle on 94 East past the Barker Road ramp, and it's on the right shoulder, and looks like a squad is already out there taking care of things. So everywhere else right now is looking great. If you wanted to get away, now would be the time to do it as far as hitting the freeways goes.
Well, kind of chilly temperatures. It is about normal, though, for this time of year. Mostly cloudy, high of 41 today. Clouds continue through the evening hours and a low of 26. Partly cloudy, chance of flurries late on Thursday with a high of 35. Struggling to get out of the 20s Friday, Saturday. You might see it on Sunday. When does the sun return? And it looks like Sunday in the morning. Going to be breezy and cold, however. 37 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Here's Greg Matzik.
Along with Adam Roberts, here we go. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and the roads were very clear this morning. I have a feeling they're going to sort of pick up in the later part of the afternoon. Not so many people getting out of work early necessarily, but people getting on the road, getting their Thanksgiving travel on.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit yesterday, the afternoon. I was driving to complete an errand down 94 over the high-rise bridge, and the line of people getting out from the northern end of Milwaukee heading south, maybe towards Chicago, northern Illinois, was quite extensive all the way through to about the airport area. So it has started. Looking at the map again, looks pretty light right now, but to your point, Greg, I think that will pick up again this afternoon.
Well, travel, one of the things on the docket for today, a lot of big stories that we're on top of here at 11:10.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, President-elect Donald Trump threatening Mexico and Canada with tariffs unless they crack down on the flow of migrants and drugs into the U.S. Both countries, as you might expect, pushing back. ABC News chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
Mexico's president says tariffs are not acceptable and it would cause inflation and job losses in the U.S. and Mexico. Adding later, Mexico respects Trump, but we also ask respect for ourselves.
Meanwhile, north of the border,
in Canada, an emergency session of Parliament where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who's had a rocky relationship with Trump, is trying to calm nerves, speaking to Trump within hours of him posting his threat Monday night.
What we will do is stand up for Canadian jobs, as we have before, as we will continue to. Stand up for the prosperity we create when we work together.
But analysts believe the damage wouldn't be limited to overseas.
Number 2, we mentioned it at the top here, but travel is underway. Lots of big numbers expected on the roads and in the skies this week. Transportation Security Administration expecting big numbers also for screenings this holiday travel season. TSA spokesperson Lisa Farbstein with more.
In the 23 years TSA has been in existence, the top 10 busiest days in our history have all happened this year, all since Memorial Day weekend. And then on July 7th, we broke 3 million for the first time. So we screened 3 million people for the very first time July 7th. It is possible that we might do that just again on Sunday.
Now, complicating matters in certain parts of the country is a shortage of air traffic controllers, and one major airline is blasting the FAA over a staffing issue.
We have already seen a little bit of headaches in terms of flight delays, particularly in the Northeast, and United is blaming the FAA and a shortage of air traffic controllers. Now, the FAA has responded. They say the majority of delays are because of weather or airline operations, but they do stress that hiring more air traffic controllers is a top priority.
That's ABC's Trevor Alt.
Well, welcome news for those hitting the roads. That is good news if you're driving about gas prices. They've been sliding down. AAA is in fact projecting that gas prices And the national average could dip below $3 a gallon for the first time in 3 years.
The good news for everybody who is driving is gas prices have been sliding down. AAA, in fact, is projecting that gas prices, the national average, could dip below $3 a gallon for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, I just said that. The average cost of a gallon of unleaded in Wisconsin, $2.86 as of this morning.
I did see one that was below $2.70 at a gas station, southern Milwaukee County, I think in Oak Creek a couple of days ago. So it is a welcome thing for anyone driving around, especially those who are maybe making a longer drive for this Thanksgiving.
11:13 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we'll check in with ABC's Stephen Portnoy following the transfer of power between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. One key document signed, several others left unsigned, and it may stay that way. We'll walk through it with Stephen after this.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. You want to make sure you got the right paint color for your commercial business or company. I've got the answer. Call your neighborhood CertaPro painter. Ask about their color consultation services. I've worked with them. They're the best in the business. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting at the right price. When you choose CertaPro painters, you're also choosing a partner. Each CertaPro painter business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters.
Hey, thanks, John. Hey, we're bringing some Christmas cheer to those in need. Greg Matzik here for Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. WTMJ is partnering with Capco for the annual toy drive that's been going on for a couple of decades now. Collecting toys and monetary donations to help make this Christmas season a little extra special for a child in need. It's a wonderful initiative, and you can help support the mission of supplying toys to children across southeastern Wisconsin. And here's what you do. Click on the donation link at WTMJ.com or on the WTMJ mobile app. You can also scan the QR code if you're following along with us on YouTube today. There's a QR code at the bottom of the screen. Just zap it with your phone, and the donation page will be sent right to your mobile device. Or text the word CAPCO to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's 855-616-1620. Every dollar collected between now and December 7th will be used to purchase a toy for a child in need. It's CAPCO's annual Kids to Kids Toy Drive on now through December 7th. You know, by the way, there's a little show competition going on. So if you'd like to choose Wisconsin's Midday News for your dollars to go, route it through our show here. We're having just a fun internal competition that you can be a part of. Check it out, WTMJ.com. It's Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's pre-Black Friday sale is going on now, so start saving early with unbeatable pre-Black Friday deals throughout the store. Like Blaine's brand holiday candy and brittles half price, 25% off select Ariat Western sweatshirts, 3 gallons of picnic turkey frying oil, only $44.99. And try new limited edition Blaine's brand pine-scented cat litter, just $5.99. Shop early and save with unbeatable pre-Black Friday deals throughout the store during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's pre-Black Friday sale going on now.
I got normal temperatures here for the end of November, up to 41 today. A lot of clouds, however. That'll linger through the evening with a low of 28. Tomorrow, high of 37. Might see some flurries flying around later at night. Might see that at Lambeau, as a matter of fact. That could make for a fun environment to watch some football. That'll be Thanksgiving for you. No sign of precipitation during the course of the day, however. Right now, it's 37 degrees, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:17. Well, the transfer of power is underway between the Trump administration and the Biden administration. All these documents have to be signed in order to make that transfer of power complete. There was about a month-long delay in one document. Other documents have yet to be signed. We have questions here, and with the answers, we welcome in ABC National correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, let's first of all talk about what the document that was signed allows the Trump administration to do.
Well, this is all part of a framework that Congress established over the decades, the Presidential Transition Act, to allow for the incoming administration to begin to dive deep into the workings of federal agencies before the inauguration so that they can be ready to go on day one, January 20th, with a full understanding of decisions, policies, staffing, structure, so that they can start making changes. And certainly this team will. What happened yesterday is Susie Wiles, the chief of staff to Donald Trump and the new administration, announced that this MOU between the Trump transition team and the Biden White House has been signed that will allow for landing teams to start going in to the federal agencies to begin really diving in deep. This could have happened, probably should have happened months ago, but it didn't for a variety of different reasons. And it's important to point out what this does not touch on. This will not cover FBI background checks for presidential appointments. It also will not cover government office space dedicated by the General Services Administration here in Washington, D.C. for the Trump transition. It will continue to be based in West Palm Beach, Florida, and it will not be subject to a donor cap that comes with sort of a string attached to the GSA office space, a $5,000 per person cap on contributions. The transition team says it will therefore operate without taxpayer money. Well, also without a cap on donations, which means that they can raise as much money as they like, and they're not legally required to disclose their donors, although the Trump transition insists that it will make a disclosure of its donors. We don't know how fulsome those disclosures will be, but we're told that they will make those donations public and transparent. So, what does it also not include? It also does not include federal IT support. You know, traditionally, you'd have a transition that would be given .gov email addresses. They are going to forgo that. And some experts say they worry that that means that the transition will be susceptible to hacking. Nevertheless, that's the choice that they're making, and perhaps they'll have to live with the consequences. But that's what has happened. The landing teams will begin diving into the federal agencies, and that is the news that was made yesterday by Susie Wiles.
Stephen, all of this is happening as we reflect 4 years ago on the term of transition of power. What is the Biden administration's confidence, given what happened 4 years ago, that when push comes to shove in 2025, everything will be smooth as oil?
Well, I'm not certain that they have that confidence, particularly because of the lack of FBI background checks. You know, when we talk about these landing teams, right, if members of those teams happen to already have security clearances, well, then they should be given access to classified information. But if they don't, there's no agreement to give classified information or read some of these people into classified details. And that could potentially be a risk to national security if on day one, people who are charged with taking over these agencies aren't fully read in. That's a risk there. And, traditionally, under the framework established by Congress, you would have agreement on these terms. The FBI would begin to process these background check applications, dig deep into the histories of these individuals, and put a stamp of approval on granting them access to classified information. Why would Donald Trump not sign that memo? Well, he hasn't said, but you could think of a few reasons. He might just simply be distrustful of the FBI. He might be concerned that some people he has put into key positions wouldn't pass an FBI background check. And separate from the sort of the lower tier, lesser known individuals who are going to operate behind the scenes and have tremendous influence, there are the bold-faced names that have been put forward as nominees for cabinet posts that would be subject to Senate confirmation. And while the president has the right to name whomever he'd like to nominate for these posts, the Senate has the constitutional obligation to provide consent to these nominees, setting aside the academic exercise of whether there'll be recess appointments. Exclusively an academic question at this point. So when you look at these nominees, several of them are controversial, and some Republican senators have said that they have some pause with providing their consent without some assurance that the FBI has thoroughly vetted these people and given the Senate a sense that they don't have anything in their background that would disqualify them or view them as national security risks.
Stephen, why is this not just a nonpartisan must-do list, right? It's got like the checkoff list, right? Things you must do before taking office. Why aren't these documents not being signed just part of that list? You have to do this in order to take office.
Well, because the Constitution gives the President of the United States the ultimate authority over the executive branch. And, he has the ability to say, you know what, no thanks. I don't want to. And only he can make that decision. Obviously heavily influenced by those around him who must be advising him not to do it. And he has his own reasons. Maybe he is, as I said, suspicious of the FBI. Maybe he's suspicious of the GSA. Maybe he doesn't want to subject his team to the cap of $5,000 per person donations. Maybe they'd like to raise even more money. They probably do like to raise even more money. And why? Well, and what influence might be peddled there? That's the fear. Again, it's all about the suspicions and concerns that people in and out of government have about all this, but there's no more important person than the President of the United States when it comes to all this, and he has the right to decide, and so it seems he has decided.
ABC Stephen Portnoy, how is the turkey being prepared in the Portnoy household tomorrow?
My sister's going to make, her husband, my brother-in-law, is going to make 2 kinds of turkey, smoked and deep fried.
Oh, there you go. Wow. That sounds like a win for Stephen. You don't have to cook it, but you get to enjoy 2 different, very distinct and different delicious flavors of turkey.
I get the privilege of battling traffic.
Well, there you go. Get on the road now, Stephen. We'll free you of your duties the rest of the day. Appreciate your time and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, see you guys.
Yep, you bet. Stephen Portnoy joining us here. Speaking of food here, remember we had that banana thing, that $6.3 million piece of banana art?
Oh, wasn't it the one duct taped to a wall or something like that?
Something kind of ridiculous. Well, there's another food item selling for much more than it's worth.
The $6.3 million banana isn't the last you've heard of ridiculously priced art. Taking inspiration from last week's Sotheby's auction of a piece of fruit duct taped to a wall, Frito-Lay has listed a duct-taped Cheeto on eBay. Cheetos posted to Instagram. No shade to the Prince of Potassium, but let's show that banana who's boss. The crispy snack has about 50 bids so far, the highest over $1,000. The winner will also receive a supply of Cheetos worth the cost of the bid. You still have time to place one. The auction ends at 8:17 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
So that'll be right before kickoff. See, what a perfect way to sort of lead into Packers football. Yeah, about 7:15 or so, log on. Make sure you get that final bid in. You never want to be trumped at the last second. So make that final bid. Earn yourself more than a life's worth of Cheetos and find a good place to spend $50,000.
That's a dangerous game, though. That line about the winner will also receive a supply worth the cost of their bid.
Yeah, whatever it ends up being.
There are some Cheeto there's a fanatic for everything out there. There are fanatics for Cheetos who will drop $50,000 for a duct tape Cheeto to a wall, which I could do for you right now for maybe $5 and a roll of some duct tape. But that's a lot of Cheetos.
That's a lot of Cheetos. All right. Not on our Thanksgiving menu. It's 11:26 on WTMJ. News coming up in a few.
Take the stress out of the holiday season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Get all your shopping done with Bucks deal season offers, featuring great gifts and limited time packages that even Scrooge will love. Score deals for everyone on your list, including yourself, from the Milwaukee Bucks and Pfizer Forum. 'Tis the season for cheer with your favorite deer. After all, there's no place like Pfizer Forum for the holidays. Shop the offers today at bucks.com/deal season.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. It's Gruber Law Offices. You've heard the phrase, right? One call, that's all. Well, they stand by it at Gruber, and they've been getting results for 40 years here in the state of Wisconsin. Contact and trust David and his team to help you if you've been hurt in an accident. Visit gruber-law.com. Find out more about their firm, in addition to what they do in the community. Boy, and now is a time where you'll see David and his team all over the place. In fact, they were just with a few members of the Milwaukee Bucks, spreading some holiday cheer at the Coles in Bayshore. It's a kickoff to the team's Give Back holiday campaign. Gruber is right there in the community, meeting you and helping you. You focus on healing, let them focus on the legal aspect. It's gruber-law.com. Call if you need, 414-276-6666.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Planning for retirement is like planning a road trip. You wouldn't start a long journey without a map, right? The same goes for your financial future. Every retirement plan needs the right tools. Social Security is one of those critical tools. But did you know when and how you claim your benefits can dramatically affect your retirement income? At Drake & Associates, we'll help you navigate the twists and turns of Social Security. Our team can guide you on when to start collecting benefits to maximize your income. Don't leave your retirement journey to chance. Call us or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's SS to 414-409-9982. Let us help you map out a secure and enjoyable retirement.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. Now that we're into the holiday season, it's time to celebrate with new lights and ceiling fans. And our huge award-winning showroom displays hundreds of the best quality lights and fans. There's not a brand we can't get, and our prices are the lowest, even lower than online. I guarantee it. And our knowledgeable staff is always here to assist you in making the right choices. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including antiques, collectibles, fun for the kids, and our famous free popcorn. We are open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The latest victims of fake threats triggering a police response are members of the Trump transition team and incoming administration.
The lead spokeswoman for the transition says several of the president-elect's picks for key posts have been the targets of bomb threats and so-called swatting attacks. That's the term for the phoning in of a fake threat which can prompt a massive law enforcement response. A Trump aide says police acted quickly to ensure those who've been targeted are safe, adding, dangerous acts of intimidation and violence will not deter us.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Holiday travelers fanning out ahead of Thanksgiving. Millions of travelers hitting the roads today, the busiest day of the week behind the wheel, and airports are still dealing with record crowds. The ceasefire between Israel, Lebanon, and Hezbollah, just hours old but holding so far. Residents forced to evacuate during months of escalations, returning to homes in southern Lebanon. On Wall Street, stocks heading down into the holiday. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News. Time is 11:31. I'm Greg Matzik. Your top story here. Illegal lockouts are on the rise in Milwaukee County. If you've recently been locked out of your apartment by your landowner or have had services like heat or electricity cut out, your rights as a tenant may be violated. Brittany Schoenig of Legal Action Wisconsin explains.
Right now, if a tenant experiences this self-help eviction, the burden really shifts to them to find a remedy. And the burden shifts on them to prove that they had a tenancy. So there's really limited recourse for a lot of tenants, which incentivizes landlords to use this practice in the first place.
Schoenig says that in order to fight against these kinds of lockouts, tenants should have copies of their leasing agreement and pictures on file of what their apartment door looked like before being locked out.
A man from Milwaukee sentenced to nearly 60 years in prison for sexual assault of multiple children. A jury finding 28-year-old Ulysses Keys guilty of 10 felony counts for exchanging nude images and having sex with several girls between 13 and 15 years old in exchange for buying them things like vapes, cigarettes, and fast food. Keys will receive 88 years of extended supervision after his sentence and must register as a sex offender.
Reminders for Milwaukee's city services during the Thanksgiving holiday. There won't be any garbage or recycling pickups for tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. Collection days will shift forward. Drop centers will reopen on Saturday. There won't be any parking meter, overnight parking, or hourly restrictions enforced on Thanksgiving, but vehicles must still be legally parked. Nighttime parking resumes on Friday into Saturday morning.
How Thanksgiving dinner could hit your wallet this year.
Food prices are top of mind this year, including big holiday meals. Chief economist at Annex Wealth Management, Brian Jacobson, tells WTMJ's The Upswing some things cost more.
Turkey prices compared to last year are down about 6%. However, if you're thinking about like a beef roast, that price is up maybe 2%.
Jacobson says shop around first.
Huge difference between if you're going to buy it at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, or at Pick and Save.
He says staples like sweet potatoes also cost less this year. David Ozzie-Scott, WTMJ News.
Well, Black Friday is quickly approaching, and it continues to pack a punch for retailers.
The average shopper who is spending that day or maybe a few days on either side, the average shopper is spending $480 during that time period.
Carroll University business professor Jay Jacobson tells Wisconsin's Morning News about $20 billion will be spent on and around Black Friday.
Sports, traffic, and weather are coming up next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Hey, Wisconsin, Jim Bob Morse here. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% blue Weber agave, award-winning, all-natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown has ever tasted. Get yours today at La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. Remember, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee tequila. And for events, recipes, and places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Packers dealing with a rash of injuries heading into Thursday's game against the Miami Dolphins. Jair Alexander and Romeo Doubs not expected to play. Linebacker Edgerrin Cooper did not play last weekend. He's questionable for Thursday's game. Packers favored by 3.5 points. Forecast for the game calls for temperatures in the 20s at kickoff.
I would rather prefer to be in an indoor stadium where you don't got to worry about any of those conditions affecting, throwing and things like that. But at the same time, I definitely think it is our advantage playing here. We practice in the weather every day in the cold, so especially a team coming from Miami, I'll take that any day.
Packers quarterback Jordan Love. College basketball tonight, 10th-ranked Marquette takes on the Stonehill Skyhawks at Fiserv Forum. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7:30. Badgers women's volleyball team faces Ohio State tonight. You can hear that right on WTMJ at 7.
Looking at the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Just a couple of broken down vehicles, not causing any issues. The one that's closest to a ramp would be on 94 West near 84th Street. So if you're heading west out of town for this Wednesday before Thanksgiving, just be mindful if 76th Street or 84th are your entry points to the freeway. And then the only other one is near the Highway 18 ramp on 94 East at Moreland. Everywhere else is looking very good. No delays across the system late this morning.
Mostly cloudy today, a high of 41. Clouds remain tonight and a low of 26. Partly cloudy, a chance of flurries late in the evening with a high of 35. We struggled to get out of the 20s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 38 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:38.
It's Wisconsin's Midday News. Adam Roberts filling in for Jessica. She's got the week off this week alongside Greg Matzik here on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Greg, we've talked about it ad nauseum, I think. It's the getaway day for many people heading out to visit family members all over southeast Wisconsin, maybe some people traveling further away. It's something that's pretty traditional, getting out of town, heading somewhere special for Thanksgiving. But for some people, whether it's because you have a work commitment, you have to work on Thanksgiving or the day before, maybe Black Friday after, or whether you can't or just would rather not head home for the holiday, many have nowhere to go to get a warm meal. And so that's why several local organizations every Thanksgiving, they get together and give away free turkeys or free meals for four if you don't have a way to make a meal for your own. Well, there's one particular joint that caught my eye amongst all of those that are giving out free meals this week, and that's a pizza joint in West Allis that just opened up last year. It's Nico's Pizza and Pub over there at 97th and National. They will be opening their doors early when they would normally be closed for Thanksgiving Day to give meals to the community for those who need them. Tina Mankowski is the general manager over at Nico's, and I spoke with her yesterday.
We are opening up at 8 a.m., and my kind boss is putting out a spread. We're going to have turkey and ham, mashed potatoes, veggies, and when we run out of that, we're going to put out some pizzas and some pasta and garlic bread.
So Mankowski says she put out the notice for this on Monday, and again, they're a new business, and it's always a good idea, and I have heard this from many other new businesses that I've visited, when you are in that first year doing something that makes you stand out from the pack. Because there's a lot of places we get pizza around southeast Wisconsin. Mankowski is saying putting on notice of the event, and since then, they've gotten a massive response from the local community.
We have gotten a huge response, way more than I think he anticipated. The post was shared 280 times, and our phone has been ringing off the hook, yeah.
And Mankowski says at the end of the day, they hope that Nico's can serve as a gathering place for those who need a safe spot to be also this holiday.
Well, we're in West Dallas, and that's a very tight-knit community. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't have a place to go, and maybe families are out of town. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to open our doors and welcome whomever comes in.
So that's at Nico's 97th and National, 8 to 11 a.m. And then when the turkey is gone, they're going to roll out the pizzas. And while you may not think of pizza as a traditional Thanksgiving meal, I know many people who would like to vary it up and maybe go away from the stuffing and the green bean casserole.
Pizzerias can actually be quite busy on Thanksgiving and around the holidays. There is a New York area pizzeria that is celebrating Thanksgiving with a special slice, and it's got a little bit of everything on it, as you might expect.
The Thanksgiving pie is phenomenal. It's the flavors just hit the tongue.
It starts with a dough, as usual, but then Pino Barbieri changes course.
Roasted turkey gravy right on top of it. Cornbread, sausage, apple stuffing, celery, carrots, and onions, all the good stuff in there. This is our carved turkey. chopped mozzarella. That's just to tie everything together.
Yeah, right now, if I'm getting pizza in New York, I prefer to find somebody named Pino Barbieri to get my pizza from. I'm cool with that.
I feel confidence in that guy.
Yeah, it's going to be a good slice there, no doubt about it. Locally, Ian's. Ian's is famous for doing these kind of crazy off-the-wall slices.
Sure.
They'll put potato and barbecue chicken and whatever on pizza. They do a Thanksgiving slice as well that's got a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of stuffing on it, a little bit of turkey on it. It's Thanksgiving in pizza form, and they really do a pretty good job of it. So if that's the way you're going to get your Thanksgiving made meal down, hey, have at it, man. Enjoy it.
I mean, that sounds like a really good way to use the leftovers, because you always wonder the day after you have so much food that you just need something to do because there's a shelf life on it. Why don't you just roll out the pizza crust, throw it all on there, and say, all right, that's dinner.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea. Hey, by the way, for anyone who is looking for a place for a meal on Thanksgiving, there are a couple of other area establishments doing so on Thanksgiving Day. You've got the Northcott Neighborhood House at North 6th Street in Milwaukee, as well as McBob's. They traditionally will have their annual Thanksgiving dinner. I know they also do this for St. Patrick's Day over at 49th and North. And then the North 35th West Center Street Community Center in Milwaukee, also giving away a full Thanksgiving meal as well as winter clothing and groceries while supplies last there.
Good stuff, Adam. Appreciate it. It's 11:43 on WTMJ.
Shop Steinhaffel's biggest Black Friday sale ever. Take $100 off every $1,499, plus get a $100 MasterCard for every $1,499. Or choose Steinhaffel's 0% 60-month financing. Shop in-store and online at steinhaffels.com.
Hey, it's Greg Matzik here for Siding Unlimited. Boy, it truly is siding and a whole lot more. We're at that time of year where, the winter weather starts to creep in, and if you're feeling that draft on the inside of your house or you see condensation built up inside your windows, that's not good. You might have an issue, and Siding Unlimited can help with the solution. It's Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. Check them out in Brookfield, where they have a variety of their fine quality products on display, and then marry those products with their installation teams. Well, there you go. You're going to have a match made in heaven with Siding Unlimited working for you. Recognized by Pella as a 4-time National Platinum Certified Contractor of the Year, right here in Wisconsin. That's pretty amazing. The best of the best. It's Siding Unlimited. Find them in Brookfield, 665 Larry Court. Bring some pictures, bring some ideas out to their showroom, see some of those products on display, get a good idea for what it would look like if installed at your home. It's Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Blain's Farm and Fleet's pre-Black Friday sale is going on now, so start saving early with unbeatable pre-Black Friday deals throughout the store. Like 26-piece Rubbermaid food storage sets, just $11.99. Rewards members save an extra $2. Half off Ergo Drive heated vehicle blankets or seat cushions. Your choice, $14.99. And save 30% on men's work and sport shirts. Shop early and save with unbeatable pre-Black Friday deals throughout the store during Blain's Farm and Fleet's pre-Black Friday sale, going on now.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
What you doing?
I'm completely sealing up all the doors to get the house ready for winter.
How will we get in and out?
We'll just have to hunker down till spring.
Sometimes getting your home ready for winter is best left to professionals. The same is definitely true for your vehicles. And now's the time to visit any of the 115 Adam member new car dealers to get your oil changed. Have your brakes and wipers checked and make sure your tires will get you through a long Wisconsin winter. Visit adamm.com to find the nearest Adam member dealer.
Cloudy today and with a high of 41 degrees. Clouds aren't going away anytime soon. Overnight low of 28. Tomorrow we get into the mid to upper 30s. Again, going to be cloudy with a chance of some flurries later in the evening hours and potentially overnight. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, kind of a consistent pattern here. Temperatures in the upper 20s, a lot of clouds, maybe a chance of sun on Monday. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 38 degrees and cloudy. Greg Nance again, Adam Roberts with you till 1 o'clock. It's Wisconsin's Midday News for a Wednesday. If you're getting out of town, hope you're getting off to a good start here, as the roads will certainly be packed a little bit later, and then, of course, throughout the weekend. Tomorrow, they're saying, is going to be a busy day. Sunday, the return home, very busy. Just give yourself a little bit of extra time, but good conditions for driving, at least today at 11:47. Well, fall brings everything from the harvest to cooler temps. It also brings an increase in traffic accidents due to deer. In this month, Driver's Ed with Debbie. She talks with the DNR about what exactly folks can expect on the roads.
It's buck season. No, not that type of bucks. The kind that jump in front of your car on rural roads. That's right, it's the deer rut. And the DNR's Jeff Pritzel says there's a reason it all happens at once.
That means all of the fawns will be born at a relatively narrow window in the spring. And so by having them all born at about the same time, they overwhelm the predators that may want to eat the fawns. And so that ensures a lot of them survive. And that all starts this time of the year by having the does all bred at relatively short window.
Now, this is not the DNR doing this. This is all Ma Nature taking the helm. So right around this time, a few things happen.
The deer will be spending more time on their feet during daylight hours, moving around, feeding up to get ready for winter. But they're also losing some of their cover when the cornfields are harvested, and so they're more exposed. And then it starts to become a 24/7 thing for a couple of weeks.
And of course, let's call it continuation of the species.
The male deer, the bucks, have one thing on their mind in late October and early November, so they're less cautious, which means they're also less cautious about running out in front of us in the highway.
So yeah, they're not the smartest animals in the world, and sprinkle in a little bit of libido, and all thoughts of self-preservation go out the proverbial window.
Most importantly, it's just stay vigilant and watching the shoulders of the road in a defensive driving strategy and being ready to slow down without losing control of the vehicle as quickly as possible.
Which means you have to keep your head on a swivel until after Thanksgiving.
So yeah, this is where not just in the peak deer crossing areas and at the peak hours of dawn and dusk, you need to be more vigilant about watching for deer, all day.
Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Yeah, so if it feels like there's more deer just sort of around town than usual, echoing that sentiment, at least where we live, a little later than usual hunt, too, this year, right? Hunting kind of fell a little later in November than it sometimes does, but just out and around our house, and we're in Menominee Falls, Sussex, Brookfield, kind of where that all comes together, I'm telling you what, they are all over the place, and I hit one, or one hit me, I should say, back in October, and I've been a little on edge. I've been definitely keeping the brights on and being cautious, driving at a slower speed on some of those roads out there where it gets a little darker.
Yeah, and imagine, like most people think of if you strike an animal, maybe if you accidentally run over a smaller critter, just a slight bump. You hit a deer, that does some serious damage. And I mean, you mentioned to me before when it happened. Also, it's interesting because the rut usually starts in October, and that's why we have deer hunting in the fall, because the deer are moving around, so there's a better chance a hunter might cross a deer if it's walking past you. But now that we are into, and we're about to hit a cold spell here, the deer are even going to be more active than they usually will be just to stay and keep the blood moving. So please be mindful, especially as we have sunsets now at basically 4:30. We're darker out a lot longer this time of year, and so they're going to be moving, especially after the sunset. So please be safe on the roads.
It's 11:51 on WTMJ. So what is the best way to cook that Thanksgiving turkey? I think I've tried just about every type. We've got an update on this after this.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
The Brewers and the Bucks have been closely watching this Valley Sports parent company because fans want to know how they're going to continue to watch these games.
Entertainment.
Ryan Turek, Vice President of Feature Film Development for Blumhouse.
That movie really connected with audiences because it felt like it could happen to you.
And more every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here, reminding you not to let that busted garage door get you down. Make a call to Geis, and they will get you back up and running. Had the folks from Geis at our studios yesterday, as a matter of fact. Good to connect with Sam. He and his team do fantastic work. This company is legendary. They've been at it since the 1950s. GeisDoors.com. It's where you need to go for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. You can also visit their showroom in Brookfield, right off Barker Road, featuring hundreds of doors and openers. They even have a custom design room. If your situation is a little more custom, Geis can help you with that too. Saw some folks actually sanding down a beautiful wood door, getting it ready for stain. It was gorgeous. Handcrafted. Wonderful work. It's Geis. Visit GeisDoors.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Don't miss Fox World Travel's Black Friday offers available now with exclusive savings from 40, 50, even up to 80% off with partners like Delta Vacations, Globus, and Insight Vacations. Prefer to be pampered at sea? Explore amazing options with Princess, Holland America, and Celebrity. Don't miss out. These huge but limited Black Friday offers are only available with promo code Black Friday. Visit foxworldtravel.com to DIY online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Not sure how many turkeys you've cooked in your lifetime, Adam, but do you have a favorite method of preparation for the Thanksgiving bird?
I do, and it's a more recent one. So the advent of the air fryer has been incredible for those who are trying to learn how to cook for the first time. And so when I was tasked with I was given a small turkey and I had only a few days to turn it over, we discovered in my family the art of the air fried turkey. And we swear by it now, especially because we don't get like the big butter balls. We get the smaller ones, so it's nice and easy to just plop it in the air fryer. And the skin on an air fried turkey is cinema.
Yeah, can't screw that up. That is right. But again, that's maybe meant for a little bit smaller of a bird or a turkey breast. You get the 14-pounder, the 16-pounder.
Can't do it.
You need an alternative method. I've tried the deep frying. Delicious, but an absolute mess. You don't want it to be raining outside. You're going to have a problem. And it kind of stinks. And then you got all this hot oil that you got to figure out what to do with. You got to let it cool. It's a mess, but it's delicious. I've tried the infrared fryer, which is a sort of an oilless fryer. I thought that was good. That turned out pretty well. The oven is tried and true if you're looking for something to hold its temperature. More recently, I got into smoking the turkey on a Traeger, which I thought was wonderful. It was very easy. Temperature held pretty well. And I thought the final product was fantastic. And then there's the term called spatchcocking.
I'm sorry, what?
If you're not familiar with spatchcocking a turkey, it is a high-end method of preparing a turkey. Now, we also have on call during this time of year the people at the Butterball Turkey Hotline. If you got an issue preparing your bird, you have an emergency, there are people ready. The Butterball Turkey Hotline will field your call and walk you through any sort of Thanksgiving cooking dilemma.
It truly is noble work this time of year.
It's a fantastic marketing tool, too, right? I mean, it's really, really genius. Well, I wasn't sure if the folks at Butterball were familiar with spatchcocking, so I decided to pay them a visit and give them a call. Hi, is this the Butterball Turkey Talk Line?
Yes, it is.
What is spatchcocking?
Okay, first of all, is this a media call?
No, of course not. Well, yes.
Good. Spatchcocking is basically when you're taking the spine out of the turkey and you're flattening it out. You're like splaying it out. It's kind of like butterflying pork chop, if you know what that means. But it's taking the center spine out, that's holding it, and then it's allowing you to flatten it all out, kind of pushing down on the rib cage. And so it cooks quicker and has more capabilities because it's flattened to do some different things with marinades and so forth. And so it's a little bit more of a high-end way of preparing it.
And the bird's okay with this?
Obviously, we don't recommend that for the average consumer. It's just we're trying to keep it as simple and easy as possible for everybody.
Well, I'm thinking I could do this with my Sawzall.
Yes, some people do that as well. Yes, very much so.
Well, that was meant to be a joke, but okay. Spatchcocking. Now that I know what spatchcocking is and I have the required tools to do it, can you share with me some of the weirdest stories and calls you've received over the years?
Can you thaw frozen turkey with an electric hairdryer? Husband put it out in the snowbank after coming home from the bowling tournament where he got the turkey for free and now nobody can find it. Yeah, I have no idea. Send the dog out, I think.
I wonder how he did in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know. He had a few too many, maybe. And, I bet the dog would find it, though. That's what I would do. Send the dog out for that one.
Would you not recommend eating a turkey that has been deflamed by a fire extinguisher?
No, we would never suggest that as well. Are you calling from Milwaukee?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I went to school up there, went to Mount Mary, actually. And also on NPR, they had a great little insert yesterday leading up to the holidays all about the famous Wisconsin Old Fashioned, which is the only place in the world where they make it with the brandy. So that was a nice plug for you Wisconsin people yesterday on NPR.
All right, that's it. You're coming to our Thanksgiving. I'll bring the bird, I'll spatchcock it, you bring the old fashions. We'll have a really nice time. You'll love our family.
Wow. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. Take care. Have a great holiday season.
You too. Happy spatchcocking. And the Butterball Turkey Hotline folks are standing by to take your call.
It truly is amazing how we say there is always a Wisconsin connection. But there really always is a Wisconsin connection to everything we do.
Wasn't expecting the person on the other end to be a Mount Mary graduate. No, I was not. It's 11:58 on WTMJ News coming up.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They provide additional daily living assistance for those with cognitive decline. And right now they're offering a curriculum-based class similar to a day program to the public for those with early to mid memory loss. It's a great time to think about this during the holiday season. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Locations throughout Wisconsin, right here in the Milwaukee area, AzuraLiving.com.
If you're seeking Lake Country's finest, don't miss out on the Westerly opening this spring. Whether it's active fitness, enjoying a swim in the indoor pool, improving your handicap using our golf simulator, or hosting guests on our rooftop patio, the Westerly has you covered. Providing seniors with award-winning residences throughout Wisconsin, this locally owned and operated company is engaged and offers unmatched services. Apartment reservations are booking quickly. Call Stacy at 262-737-5501 or visit livingwesterly.com.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, November 27th. Your top story, threats against the future president's cabinet.
I'm Adam Roberts. A vote of no confidence at Marquette.
Mostly cloudy today, a high of 41. Cloudy this evening and a low of 26. Partly cloudy on Thursday. Chance of flurries later in the evening and a high of 35. It's 38 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, several of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks and appointees are reportedly receiving threats.
A spokesperson for the president-elect says violent threats were made last night and this morning and included bomb threats and swatting. That's when a false crime is reported, inducing a heavily armed police response. Caroline Levitt did not elaborate on who was targeted, but did call the threats un-American. She added President Trump and the entire transition team are grateful for the swift action of law enforcement. And she concluded, quote, with President Trump as our example, dangerous acts of intimidation and violence will not deter us. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Here at home, a former school resource officer from Kewaskum will see jail time for bestiality. Former SRO Stephen Rosales will serve 2 years in jail after being found guilty on 3 felony charges. Police discovered photos and text message of the actions while investigating Rosales for an alleged inappropriate relationship with a student at the Kewaskum High School where he had previously served as an SRO. Rosales posted bond in that case, but is now being transferred to the Fond du Lac County Jail. He will be due back in court in January.
Voting no confidence at Marquette, the university's academic senate, making the largely symbolic vote Monday in the school's executive leadership team over budget concerns, along with the lack of transparency and communications in decision-making. The executive leadership team includes newly announced President Dr. Kimo Ayun and Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Joel Pogozinski. Dr. Paul Gasser, chair of the Academic Senate, tells WTMJ they are asking for a stronger voice in decisions that will affect the quality of a Marquette education. Marquette's Board of Trustees maintains its full support for the executive leadership team.
Milwaukee County employees will not have to pay fees or co-pays at 3 new health clinics that will provide treatment for minor illnesses and injuries, as well as preventative care and on-site lab testing for the county's over 4,000 employees, regardless if they participate in the county's health insurance plan or not. Clinics open this week at the Milwaukee County Courthouse and the Val Phillips Juvenile Justice Center. One more at the Wilson Senior Center has plans to open in 2025.
COVID-19 still prevalent within the boundaries of the United States, so much so that Dr. John Raymond with the Medical College of Wisconsin believes people who have had COVID-19 and suffering from side effects weeks after they've been infected is becoming more common.
The estimates of the prevalence of COVID-19 do vary because of the different definitions. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate about 17 million U.S. adults have long COVID or have had it, and that's the equivalent of 1 in every 19 Americans.
And Dr. Raymond recommends booster shots every season.
Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It's now a triple-digit loss on the day for the Dow, down 105 points this hour at 44,755. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ has made up some ground from its earlier losses this morning, but is still down 173 points at 19,000 even. And the S&P 500 trying to claw back to 6,000. They're still a bit below it, off 27 points on the day at 5,994. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
So if you're selling a $2 million home and you found yourself what you thought was a pretty good deal on your real estate commission at, say, about 3.6%, you'd pay $72,000 in real estate commission. Not bad, right? Well, your Benefit Realty agent will charge you no more than $19,000 no matter what size property you're selling for the listing side of your sale. And it all comes with the full service you'd expect from an experienced real estate brokerage. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com. We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. Now, I say this because that's a pretty big number, but I also bring it up because it's always been cool for us to save our clients money. It's not about being the top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission with a cap on our commission for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Want to usher you over to Potawatomi Sportsbook for an incredible viewing experience. Whatever game you're looking to watch, you do it at Potawatomi Sportsbook. You're going to be back. No better place to watch the games than at Potawatomi. A 2,000 square foot video wall, fantastic food, full service bar, incredibly comfortable furniture. There's even a VIP deck if you want to have a more quiet and intimate gathering with the folks you want to hang out with. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook inside the redesigned and reimagined Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. No smoking in most facilities at Potawatomi. They got 12 restaurants, whatever you're looking for, quick on-the-go food truck kind of stuff, or a delicious steak dinner, or Asian. You can hit up the coffee bar, which is 24/7. It's Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. I urge you to step inside the brand new, beautiful Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Get a jump on your holiday shopping at Runnings with their Black Friday sale and gift card bonus. Friday, November 29th, in-store only from 6 a.m. to noon. Get a $10 bonus gift card for every $50 you spend pre-tax. Get amazing deals and savings in all departments during the Black Friday gift card bonus event at your local Runnings store November 29th. Get all of your holiday shopping done in one stop at Runnings, now serving 82 local communities. Go to Runnings.com for more information at a store near you.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Packers dealing with some injuries going into Thursday night's matchup with the Dolphins. Jair Alexander and wide receiver Romeo Doubs not expected to play Thursday night. The forecast for Thursday's game calls for temperatures in the 20s at kickoff.
I would prefer to be in an indoor stadium where you don't got to worry about any of those conditions affecting, throwing and things like that. But at the same time, I definitely think it is our advantage playing here. We practice in the weather every day in the cold, so especially a team coming from Miami, I'll take that any day.
It's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. College basketball tonight, 10th-ranked Marquette takes on Stonehill at Fiserv Forum. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7:30. Badgers women's volleyball team takes on Ohio State tonight. You can hear the match right here on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 7 o'clock.
Let's look at the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We've got two incidents right now on the board. One just in a few moments ago on 94 South, right near County Highway K in Racine County. You have the right shoulder block there due to what the DOT is just calling an incident. Looking at the camera, doesn't look like there's too much going on. I do see the broken down vehicle though, so just be mindful of that in Racine County. And then northwest in Washington County, right near the Dodge County line at County Highway D, we've got the right shoulder blocked on 41 North due to a crash at that location. No backups associated with this right now, but it is on the right shoulder, so just be mindful if you are in the right lane. Again, that's 41 North in Washington County, near County Highway D and Highway 28 as you work your way into Dodge County. As far as travel times, we are looking pretty good this afternoon. No major delays across the system.
Cloudy today, a high of 41 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 26. Clouds return on Thursday. A chance of flurries later in the evening and a high of 35. Breezy, cold, and cloudy on Friday with a high of 29. It's 38 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Here's Greg Matzik.
Alongside Adam Roberts till 1 o'clock here. It's the Wednesday edition, pre-Thanksgiving edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. Happy to have Adam along for the ride. You're back again on Monday and Tuesday. Jessica taking some much-deserved time off.
Yeah, she's out for this week, of course, the holiday week, and lots of people also making that trip. We've said it over and over again. Could be a busy one on the roads, at least so far from what we're seeing. If you have the freedom to choose a time to go, I might go now. It looks pretty good.
12:10, some big stories that we're on top of here this afternoon.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number one, displaced residents are returning to their homes in Lebanon today after a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hezbollah went into effect. The truce could bring an end to the 13-month border conflict that's killed thousands. ABC News chief international correspondent James Longman says the agreement calls for a 60-day halt in fighting and requires Hezbollah to end its armed presence in southern Lebanon, while Israeli troops have to return to their side of the border.
It's up to the Lebanese army and the United Nations to make sure Hezbollah leaves. But in addition, the United States is going to apparently monitor this process. But what does that actually mean? Could there be American troops on the ground in Lebanon? I find that hard to believe, but we have to wait and see what the detail of what exactly this means.
And the war's been going since October of 2023.
We've made much about how it's a busy travel day today, but not much about what you should do if you experience car trouble as you head off to Thanksgiving. The AAA is preparing for a busy holiday weekend, expecting to respond to more than 570,000 calls for service. So starting tonight at 6 o'clock, AAA will also be launching its free tow-to-go service aimed at preventing impaired driving. That program available in Wisconsin as well as other select states, and will offer a safe ride for would-be impaired drivers as well as their vehicles. Now, AAA is saying you got to use this as a last resort. However, it is still free for those who are needing it. You cannot call ahead and make an appointment. So don't try to call and say you need the service. It has to be as needed. The service will take you wherever you need to go. As long as it's within a 10-mile radius, it will be active again starting at 6 this evening and running until 6 in the morning, Monday, December 2nd.
One of the busiest travel weeks of the year is also one of the busiest shopping weeks of the year. Consumer data company Adobe looks into how much people have spent already in holiday shopping and what's to be expected in the coming weeks.
Adobe says Americans throughout this holiday season will be spending about 8% more than they did last year.
We're expecting about $240 billion to be spent during that period.
Adobe's Vivek Pandya.
We're finding people shift into those higher cost goods as a result of the broader discounts that are happening in the online ecosystem. Electronics, personal care and cosmetics products, we see upticks in appliances, smartwatches, bicycles.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
Yeah, online deals already exist, and there are a number of stores that'll be closed on Thanksgiving. Costco, Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, Home Depot, Walmart among the big box retailers that'll have its doors closed. But the online deals in every one of those retailers and plenty more are in full effect. They're out there for you.
I remember much ado was made a couple of years ago about stores that were going to be open on Thanksgiving. So it's, at least personally, I think it's nice to see some companies making that shift around again and closing up for the holiday.
Average American consumer is expected to spend just over $1,000 on holiday-related purchases in 2024. 12:13 on WTMJ. Thanksgiving tomorrow. Packers football tomorrow night. We go to Green Bay and check in with Jason Wilde right after this.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Well, WTMJ and Capco are bringing the holiday cheer to kids as part of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, partnering with Capco once again for the annual toy drive where we are collecting toys and money to help make this Christmas season a little extra special for a child in need. How can you help support Capco's mission of supplying toys for children across southeast Wisconsin? Well, you can click on the donation link at WTMJ.com or click on the link through the WTMJ app. There's even a QR code if you're following along with us on YouTube, which we encourage you to do. Zap the QR code with your phone and we'll get you the donation link sent right to your mobile device. Capco's annual Kids to Kids Toy Drive going on now through December 7th. Visit WTMJ.com, check out the app, zap the QR code, or text the word Capco to the WTMJ Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavidi for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Safe and Sound program. Vehicle exchange program. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease with the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser, today's your day.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
The historic Fox and Hounds restaurant in Hubertus is hiring bussers, food expos, and food runners. Start next week. Parents, tell your kids, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
This is the sound of research in the works. Sounds kind of boring. But for those diagnosed with cancer, this is the sound of a possible cure. Because here, our researchers are also your doctors, working as one force, under one roof, where clinical research and new treatments unite in one place to fight even the most complex cancers. Welcome to East Park Medical Center, UW Health Carbone Cancer Center. Remarkable.
It's Wednesday, which means it's time for Flanner's Home Entertainment Football Fix with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, and they get to stay home. I guess there is a benefit to that.
Here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Calling me from Miami.
And I'm in for Jessica. It is our football fix presented by Flanner's Home Entertainment. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
I would prefer to be in an indoor stadium where you don't got to worry about any of those conditions affecting, throwing and things like that. But at the same time, I definitely think it is our advantage playing here. We practice in the weather every day in the cold, so especially a team coming from Miami, I'll take that any day.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. Love that comment. Yeah, we like 70 degrees and no wind, but we're at least used to playing when it's 20 outside, and that's about what it's going to be, somewhere in the 20s for kickoff on Thursday night. Let's go to Green Bay, shall we, and check in with Jason Wilde, ESPN Wisconsin's Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon weekdays on our ESPN stations here in the state. Hey, Wilde.
Yeah, I like that comment from an honesty perspective, but from I'm the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, I'm supposed to embrace the cold. I was a little surprised that he took that angle, frankly. Weren't you? Like, Rodgers obviously was great in domes. He used to talk about his favorite shoes that he would wear for indoor games, but he still took a lot of pride in the cold weather. Jordan, I was a little bit surprised that he was that brutally honest that we'd rather play indoors. That was unexpected.
Yeah, I would say that I would agree with that. I think what I'm conditioned to are previous quarterbacks saying, it's all about the wind, not about the temperatures. True. Temperatures, fine. If it's 8, if it's 12, whatever. If it's windy, then we got a problem. Jordan went temperature. I don't know if you brought up wind in the full answer. I wasn't in the locker room, but that I'm not used to hearing it framed that way.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but again, it is going to be a 55, 60-degree temperature swing for the Dolphins getting on their plane in Fort Lauderdale and landing at Austin Straubel. So there's no denying there's some advantage there. But as he first started talking there, I thought for a second that it was Tua talking about how he'd rather be in a dome.
Well, it's interesting because Tua seemed earlier this week when he was asked the same kind of question that he was raring to go. He seemed, at least in that media availability, like, hey, bring on the cold.
Yeah, I really like him. And look, I've really enjoyed covering Jordan and getting to know him. We've got a really cool working relationship that I really appreciate. But I feel like Tua, with the concussion stuff, he's been diagnosed with 3. There was a 4th one that wasn't diagnosed, but then he ended up on injured reserve. It was what really led to the change in the rules of how concussions are governed in the league now. I would love to have seen what his career would have looked like if he hadn't dealt with all these concussions. And I know there were folks that were worried about him and thinking maybe he should retire. But, man, he has been, talk about temperatures, on a hot streak since he got back. The last 5 games, he's completing 77% of his passes. He's got a 116 passer rating. He gets the ball out of his hand quickly. This is a game that I am fascinated by And I'm really eager for tomorrow night to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it really is different styles here, too. And by the way, the Dolphins are playing for their playoff lives. I mean, they're a sub-500 team right now, but still in it in the AFC. But when I've watched them play this year, Jason, at full strength, they are so fast. Like, they are all about speed here. Does that get neutralized anyway when the conditions are suboptimal from a temperature perspective?
Yeah, that's one of the parts of the equation that I'm intrigued by is, will the track at Lambeau Field be slippery, right? We've seen, we saw from the very first play, the 49ers weren't ready for whatever the field was like because Jake Moody, their kicker, slipped and fell as he kicked off. And then I think they even showed on the broadcast, obviously I was in the press box, but I thought I caught it up on one of the TVs, where they showed like the two different types of cleats that players wear. We've heard Tausch talk about it a bunch, but it appeared that the molded cleats that the 49ers were wearing were not conducive. So I'd be curious if Mike McDaniel, who obviously coached with the 49ers, has some connections over there. I wonder if he is taking a lesson from his old buddy Kyle Shanahan and saying, I'm not going to make the same mistake my buddy did. I'm going to have these guys in the right shoes and ready for that track. And if so, what's going to make it better for them and their speed is that the Packers aren't going to have Jair Alexander. And that, to me, is this is the game where you might feel like you really miss him because Tua gets the ball out of his hand quickly and into the hands of Jalen Waddle, and into the hands of Tyreek Hill, and this defense is going to be tested if those guys are able to be as fast as they've been.
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde with us on Wisconsin's Midday News. All right, Jason, so something I've been curious about, save for last week when the Packers basically got off to that hot start against San Francisco and then never really stopped in the win, it always seems when I'm watching the Packers, they start on that first drive super hot, they come out all guns ablaze, and Josh Jacobs runs right down the gullet of the defensive line, they get a score, and then things kind of peter off, it seems, after that first drive. Does something need to give here? Because we start always, it seems, so hot, and then there's this period where it kind of feels like we just forgot what we did that was so successful on the first drive.
Yeah, or they start out hot at the beginning of the drive, that first drive, and then they peter out before they even get into the end zone, and they settle for a field goal, or they end up going for it on fourth down. It was at least progress that they got the ball into the end zone on Sunday, but look, to me, the biggest thing, doesn't matter if it's your first drive, your second drive, your third drive, give the ball to Josh Jacobs, and good things happen. And, Matt LaFleur admitted to us yesterday, I'm a former quarterback. I coached quarterbacks. I like to throw the football. And what I thought was fascinating about how the 49ers game played out, to your point, Adam, is that they didn't go into the game with the plan of getting the ball to Josh Jacobs that many times. He carried 26 times, 106 yards. There are only two running backs since October of 2021, one in the regular season and one in the playoffs, to have gone over 100 yards against that defense. Back then it was Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, who was the last one, and then they went 55 regular season games, and the one playoff game where they gave up 100 yards, Aaron Jones last January. The one regular season game they gave up 100 yards, Josh Jacobs on Sunday. Matt LaFleur was not planning on running the ball that much, but they were so successful on that opening drive that they ran it a lot more the rest of the game. Yes, they petered out on their second drive, but it really was a difference maker for them the rest of the game.
So let's talk schedule here a little bit. I know coaches can't do anything about the schedule, and you've got all season to really kind of prepare once that schedule comes out in May. But not only do you have a short week here, you get back-to-back Thursday night games, 4 straight games in prime time, maybe one that gets flexed with that Vikings-Packers game scheduled for noon in Week 16. It feels sort of like a badge of honor, right, Jason? But it also feels like, couldn't this have been sprinkled out a little better throughout the course of the season?
Right, like they're the bizarro Jets, right? Didn't the Jets have 6 primetime games in the first 8 or 9 weeks?
Yes, always.
They proved not to be ready for prime time the way things have gone for them. So the Packers obviously are hoping that they're way better in prime time than their former quarterback was during the first half of the season. But yeah, I thought that as soon as the schedule came out, I just found it to be odd. And it was the reverse last year too, They got flexed into prime time on New Year's Eve in Minnesota. But before that, they had all these primetime games kind of early in the year last year because they thought maybe they were not going to be as good, or maybe they thought they were going to be better than they were in the first half. So I don't know how they're going to handle it. I will say this. I think Matt LaFleur is a little irritated that it's Thursday. That happened in 2007 when they went to Detroit and then to Dallas, and we all remember the Dallas game when Rodgers came in for an injured Favre. It happened in 2015 when the Packers played at home on Thanksgiving and lost to the Bears, and then played the following Thursday. I think Matt LaFleur was hoping that he would get the Detroit Lions on with extra rest for his team after Thanksgiving. And instead, both the Lions and the Packers play tomorrow, and then they play each other next Thursday. There's no real advantage there for them. So I think that, judging from Matt LaFleur's mood when he was asked about back-to-back Thursdays, he's not a big fan.
Our Packers game day coverage begins at 4 o'clock tomorrow with Green Bay Game Day. You can hear Jason Wilde as part of that program. Jason, we're grateful for you being a part of this program each and every week, man. We really do appreciate it. Have a great Thanksgiving with your family.
You guys as well. Thanks. Take care. Be good.
You bet. Jason Wilde joins us every week. It's our Football Fix presented by Flanner's Home Entertainment. News coming up.
Here's to carving out a little slope time together in Wisconsin. To short lift lines that make room for more laugh lines. Here's to gearing up and making lasting memories.
Race to the bottom.
And to the perfect end, to the perfect day.
Cheers.
Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your snow day at travelwisconsin.com.
There's nothing out there close to this.
Protecting your family's legacy since 1999. Greg Matzik here. I want to tell you about my friends at Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. I've spent some time with Dan Krause over the last several months. Very interesting guy. Had a wonderful career in the Army, and now he's doing estate planning and planning out wills so you can protect what you've built and what you've earned. That's right. Krause Estate Planning understands the process better than anybody. Admittedly, for us, it's felt like a kind of an arduous process. The folks at Krause Estate Planning take all the stress, pain, worry, confusion out of the process with a customized program for you. Rely on the folks at Krause Estate Planning to help you through the process. Don't worry about the ever-changing tax laws. They're on top of it at Krause Estate Planning. They understand how Medicare and Medicaid work as well. Visit estateplanningpeople.com. That's estateplanningpeople.com. Connect with Krause Estate Planning in Brookfield or in Madison or at their office in Oregon. It's Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
Vince Vitrano with a Black Friday sale that will transform the look of your family home. Head to Lifetime Door Company just north of 124th and Burleigh or visit online at lifetimedoor.net to get started. Create your new garage door and order November 25th through the 27th. $100 off the cost of a new opener, up to $300 off the cost of a new garage door. Other discounts available when you tell them Vinny sent you to the Black Friday sale. Lifetime Door Company, 262-783-4004, lifetimedoor.net.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, November 27th. Your top story, no SROs doesn't mean no police in schools.
I'm Adam Roberts. Some trash pickup reminders this Thanksgiving holiday.
Mostly cloudy today, a high of 41. Clouds tonight, a low of 26. Partly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 35. Chance of flurries later in the evening. It's 38, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:32. Still no student resource officers at MPS. State Senator John Jagler tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that Milwaukee police are responding anyways.
Last school year, they responded to schools in Milwaukee. Cops did 32.7 calls a week, average of 7 times a day, and it's only gotten worse. We're talking armed robbery, sexual assault, felony theft. The teachers that I've talked to are the ones that are frustrated because they know they need some help.
Jagler worries that if SROs aren't placed in MPS, the Wisconsin Republican majority could hold back funding for MPS in the future.
Some reminders for those in the city of Milwaukee this Thanksgiving holiday. There will not be any garbage or recycling pickups either tomorrow or on Black Friday this week, with collection days shifting forward. Drop-off centers will reopen this Saturday. There also will not be any parking meter, overnight parking, or hourly restrictions enforced tomorrow. Vehicles must still be legally parked. Nighttime parking resumes Friday night heading into Saturday morning.
Working to protect Wisconsin family farms. Executive Director of Tall Pines Conservancy, Susan Buchanan, tells WTMJ the state needs to act to protect small family farms.
It's about farmland access. It's about young farmers being able to afford land and to farm, and it's also about the next generation.
Buchanan is asking the state legislature to put up $25 million into the Property Assessed Clean Energy, or PACE program, to help fund improvements, making farms more profitable and sustainable. She says that would help create about 22,000 acres of protected farmland and create hundreds of jobs.
Inflation has been on the minds of many this year, and Thanksgiving dinner could once again make a dent on wallets.
Food prices are top of mind this year, including big holiday meals. Chief economist at Annex Wealth Management, Brian Jacobson, tells WTMJ's The Upswing some things cost more.
Turkey prices compared to last year are down about 6%. However, if you're thinking about like a beef roast, that price is up maybe 2%.
Jacobson says shop around first.
Huge difference between if you're going to buy it at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, or at Pick and Save.
He says staples like sweet potatoes also cost less this year. David Ozzie-Scott, WTMJ News.
Well, Wisconsin's home to some bizarre world records. How about the largest Smurf collection? Maybe the largest cheese platter? Well, here's one that seems right in the Thanksgiving wheelhouse.
Stephen Ruppel of Wausau holds the world record for the fastest time to drink 1 liter of gravy. His record, 38.2 seconds. But most people Ruppel interacts with ask him the same question. Why?
So this one just seemed to be very interesting, and I really felt in my heart this record belongs in Wisconsin.
Ruppel says there was no real training in getting the record.
I will admit I will have a McDonald's milkshake every now and again, which is a similar sort of sucking motion. But I do like physical challenges.
Sean Brindup, WTMJ News.
Oof. Yeesh. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 12:35.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Black Friday sale starting at 6 a.m. Save up to 50% and more throughout the store on Friday-only super deals while supplies last. Like select pet beds, just $9.99. 40% off Continental Pizza Ovens, $29.99. Save $250 on select 4-packs of DeWalt tool batteries. And select Schleich animal figurines are Black Friday priced, buy 2, get 1 free. Save up to 50% and more during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Black Friday sale starting at 6 a.m.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build comprehensive plans covering investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. And Annex doesn't have products to push with hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that already. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. More planning, fewer miracles. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Packers are preparing for a Thursday night matchup with the Miami Dolphins at Lambeau Field. Jair Alexander not expected to play, still working his way through a knee injury. Wide receiver Romeo Doubs remains in the concussion protocol. Packers game day coverage begins at 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. Kickoff set for just after 7.
Let's look at the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver. Traffic still looking very good as far as travel times go. Very few spots on this on the freeway system are running slow, if any at all. There are a few incidents to be aware of. One is a crash in northwest Washington County, right near the Dodge County line. You got the right shoulder blocked due to a crash from earlier this afternoon. There were some backup stretching south towards the Colesville area, but that has since alleviated. I think there's some work being done to get this cleaned up right now. Just be mindful as you head over. People will stop and stare, but you'll get through there otherwise pretty quickly. Also got a broken down vehicle on 4145 South right near Hampton. That is out of the way of traffic off on the ramp, and then a broken down vehicle just in on 94 South near County Highway E, blocking the left shoulder.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
If you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line, 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Volkswagen during Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event.
Cloudy today, high of 41. Clouds tonight, a low of 26. 35 and partly cloudy on Thursday. Chance of flurries later in the evening. It's 38 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:39.
Chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to.
If it's 90s R&B, that means it's time to check in with CBS congressional correspondent, aficionado of all things 90s R&B. It's Scott McFarlane in Washington, the nation's capital. Happy Thanksgiving, Scott.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving. You picked a 90s R&B song that actually did better on the other charts. It was a pop hit. It was an adult contemporary hit. It was also an R&B hit. Waterfalls by TLC was their North Star, their biggest song.
Signature song, no doubt about that. Yep. Well, we're not chasing waterfalls here. We're chasing, members of Trump's cabinet. There's all sorts of information coming out of Capitol Hill here this week, Scott. I want to start with the tariff idea. President-elect Trump threatening Mexico and Canada with tariffs unless they crack down on the flow of migrants and drugs into the U.S. We're now hearing from leaders from Canada, leaders from Mexico. Is this just part of a negotiating tactic for Trump? Is he really going to move forward with what he is suggesting?
Well, it certainly can be leveraged, even if not employed. The threats of tariffs can move other countries to do other things. But a Harris poll that was released in the last 24 hours says that more than 2/3 of Americans think these tariffs would lead to much or somewhat higher prices for what they buy at the store. And what a time of year to be thinking about higher prices for what you buy at the store. There's concern about the impact of tariffs on U.S. goods. If you go to Walmart and go to Target, you have to pay more for everything because of a tariff. The tariff's not going to be terribly popular, but certainly can be leveraged on the world stage if you want other countries to do other things. It also can be subject to retaliation, which the Mexican president has already done, that if tariffs are thrust upon Mexico, Mexico can return in kind with all the agricultural goods they produce for the U.S. And goodness knows at the northern border, automobile manufacturing goes from Canada to the U.S., back to Canada, back to the U.S. Before the car is finished, it could have an impact on auto prices. So we'll see if this is just a threat or if these are, attempted to be enacted early in 2025.
Is there historical precedent for the kind and the amount of tariffs that are being suggested here, Scott? Because President Trump did put into agreement the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that replaced NAFTA during his first administration. So it almost seems like a reversal of many of those policy initiatives.
It is certainly a precedent for tariffs. I mean, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act from the history books, or, if you prefer, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a punchline in the middle of that movie, was in 1930, and it was designed just for that same intent, to protect U.S. businesses, U.S. farmers from international goods undercutting our prices. Now, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act happened in 1930, which means it happened during the Great Depression and may have exacerbated the Great Depression. Not exactly an economic model you'd want to follow. Tariffs of this size are new in our generation, new in our lifetimes, with an untold impact. But they do get the attention of other countries, and if President-elect Trump is trying to leverage them into doing something, not an ineffective way of trying to do it.
Wait, are you an 80s movie aficionado too? Do I need to start dropping lines from Fletch in our talks every week here, Scott?
Never going to hurt.
Okay.
Never going to hurt to try.
Fair enough. All right. We got to try and keep you on your toes. That is for sure. You keep keeping us on ours. Hey, wanted to ask you about this transition team signing a key document, but intentionally avoiding signing other documents, right? There's a transition of power that has to take place between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. And there are documents to be signed. One key document has been signed. A couple of others intentionally left unsigned. Can you walk us through this?
Yeah, what they've signed, this Memorandum of Understanding, which they call an MOU, just to make it more complicated, allows the incoming administration to put people on the ground at the departments and the agencies they're about to take over, transition teams, or they call them deployment teams, to put it in place to learn the ropes, get things in order, and make sure they hit the ground running on January 20th. Gives them access to things. But in this case, they're not using some of the traditional systems. They're not using the apparatus that's in place inside federal agencies that is traditionally used. Now, why so? It's a hard question to answer right now because the Trump-Vance team hasn't said as much. But they're giving assurances that they're still going to get everything they need or want out of this transition. They are not taking public money. They're going to take private donations, which they pledge to disclose, but they're not bound to disclose. And there's some heartburn about whether some of this money that's flowing into the Trump transition is going to be hard to track and maybe, accruing political favors that the Trump administration will have to pay off down the road.
Be curious to see where this goes from there. Also wanted to ask you about the ceasefire in the Israeli-Hamas war. Is there anybody from the United States that has had influence on this? It seems kind of quiet in the White House.
Real big 24 hours diplomatically for the Biden administration, securing this ceasefire with the help of the French government between Hezbollah and Israel in Lebanon. And now today, the release of 3 U.S. prisoners who've long been held in terrible conditions by China, including one Texan who's been held since 2012 and, according to advocates, has been the subject of cruelty and inhumane conditions. That's a big 24 hours for any administration, especially an outgoing administration. When President Biden spoke in the Rose Garden yesterday about the peace deal, I was there, wasn't triumphantly declaring success by him or his team. But it is noteworthy that an outgoing administration still has the heft on the world stage to do things with foreign countries in a way that perhaps they don't have the muscle domestically to still do actions here. And the Biden administration seems to be making the most out of their lame duck years or lame duck weeks in office.
Yeah, I was going to ask for more on that, Scott, because we are a couple of months out from the transition now, and traditionally, those 2 months after an election, you don't expect a ton from a presidential administration. But I know the ceasefire negotiations were high on Biden's to-do list. Is there anything else you're hearing that the administration might try to get accomplished in the 2 months before Trump takes power?
They certainly were trying to get some judges confirmed before they lose the White House, and they succeeded with the Democrats having the majority in the Senate until January 3rd. They still have the bandwidth and the capability of getting judges confirmed. Those are lifetime appointments. I look for something different, though, that's being overlooked in the coming weeks. At some point before December 20th, Republicans in the U.S. House and Democrats in the U.S. Senate have to pass a deal to avoid a government shutdown and to fund the government into some date determined in 2025. Republicans have been incapable of doing this in the U.S. House on their own, and they've, over the last 2 years, needed the minority, Democrats, to get these bills passed. And the same will be true before December 20th. Democrats can exert their leverage, their votes, to cut some deal to avoid a government shutdown that hamstrings a future President Trump. They could jam him up with another shutdown deadline real early in the year, like March, and tie up his first 100 days with a battle over spending and over avoiding government shutdowns. That's something Democrats seem keen on doing in the next couple of weeks because they do have the power. Republicans, with their narrow majority in the House this year and an even narrower one next year, will not be able to pass any of these bills without Democrats helping them out. And Democrats see that as the one firewall they have to stop Trump or slow Trump next year.
CBS congressional correspondent Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. What is it like in the nation's capital for Thanksgiving? What's going on there? Is everything kind of shut down? Like, what happens?
I'm glad you asked. This is one of those cities, one of the few cities in America that's full of people who are not from here. So those of us who are from here are very lonely around Thanksgiving because everybody's gone. Everybody's gone back home to Wisconsin, back home to Illinois, back home to California. And those of us raising our families here and have been here for a generation, well, we find parking easily. That's nice. The traffic's lighter. That's nice. But let me put it this way. I'm wearing a few different hats at CBS today.
I can imagine that, right? Everybody, Major Garrett doesn't work the day before Thanksgiving. He's long gone somewhere, isn't he?
Well, I don't see him across the hallway, but he is the hardest working man at television, so I don't begrudge him.
So do all of those that are still around at the network, do you have some sort of a Friendsgiving or a gathering that you all do to get together since you're all stuck in D.C., as you put it?
They bring food in, which is nice, especially for those of us who are budget conscious. The food's got to be brought into the second floor of the newsroom, so we're going to be well fed. But I think we're going to be eating with people, professional people versus family.
Well, Scott, we appreciate your time each and every week. We're grateful to have you as part of this program. We appreciate it so much. You have a great Thanksgiving with whomever you celebrate it with, and we'll check in again next week.
Either way, I'm watching the game tomorrow night. Go Pack.
There you go. Love to hear it. Scott McFarland, CBS congressional correspondent. We'll check in again next week. Scott, thank you. 1248 on WTMJ.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code RADIO.
Well, you might not be getting out to the store anytime soon here, so if you're making that last stop to the store tonight on your way home, you might as well load up the freezer with Palermo's Pizza. Keep it easy. Keep it fun with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Grab a couple of Screamin' Sicilian, maybe an urban pie, a couple of Connie's, a couple of Primo Thin. All right, leftovers are great and all, but why not switch it up a little bit this weekend? Mix in a pizza with Palermo's, and you will have a happy household. I can promise you that. Pick up a few wherever you like to shop. Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, try them all if you'd like. That's right, load up the freezer with Palermo's. It is Wisconsin's hometown pizza, making the best tasting frozen pizza you're going to find for 60 years. Right in Milwaukee, it's Palermo's.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Do you love the simplicity and enduring quality of Scandinavian design? Then the Fjords factory-sponsored sale at Ken Michaels Furniture is for you. Inspired by tradition and built to last, Fjords brings the best of modern Norwegian design to your home. Save 20% on these ergonomic recliners and sofas engineered with comfort in mind. Available with manual or power options. Stop in today and save 20% on Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown factory showroom. Get a better night's sleep and save money on a Milwaukee mattress. For over 70 years, our family has been making mattresses and selling them direct to your family. By cutting out distribution costs, you can save up to 50% and get a better night's sleep on a premium mattress. Go green with natural latex. Reduce tossing and turning at night by reducing pressure points on your body. This is one of our most popular mattresses. Stop in today and take a test rest at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown.
Hey, this is Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. Put it simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Clouds today, mild temperatures, well, kind of chilly actually, with a high of 41 degrees. Clouds tonight, a low of 27, up to 37 tomorrow, with clouds mainly in the morning. Might see a little flurry action overnight. Otherwise, we struggled to get out of the 20s here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next chance of sun appears to be on Sunday, maybe on Monday, but a lot of clouds and chilly temps. It is 38 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:52. Wrapping up the pre-Thanksgiving edition of Wisconsin's Midday News, Greg Matzig and Adam Roberts with you. So Nike's been on the forefront of technology when it comes to shoemaking for decades, right?
I would say that's not a hot take at all.
No, not at all. They try things. Not everything works, but zillion ideas running through Nike. It all went back to the start of Nike Air, if you want to think about that, decades and decades ago. Well, that's still going pretty strong. Well, now you've got Nike's new Air Max 1000. It's the company's first shoes manufactured using almost entirely 3D printing.
The Air Max 1000 design process is a supercharged version of the typical product creation process.
3D printing is an additive manufacturing process that creates a physical object from a digital design. The process works by layering a raw material and fusing it together to create an object. 3D printing enhances our ideas by allowing us to create something like the Air Max 1000, which was previously impossible through traditional manufacturing processes. Our process ideas and expertise paired with 3D design played a massive role in bringing the clearest representation of our ideas to life. This process enabled us to think of the AM 1000 as a wearable sculpture.
The experience on foot is really hard to describe. It's almost like opposite sensations mashed into one, like soft and responsive and plush and supportive. You really just got to try it on.
Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. So, I mean, it looks sort of like a plastic shoe, for lack of a better term, but they say that with 3D printing, they're better able to mix layers and densities and textures together so that the sole remains firm and supportive while the upper layers and upper parts of the shoe are more flexible and comfortable. They say printing allows this shoe to be designed in a way that traditional manufacturing techniques would not have allowed them to do.
And I look at the shoe, I looked at it earlier, I'm looking at it now, and that's the first word that comes to mind for me too, is dense. This shoe, it looks like I could grab it and squeeze it. It looks like sort of that red foamy material that you would be able to play with when you were a kid. It just looks like a dense shoe.
The Air Max came out in 1987. Nike's first shoe to actually show that air pocket. And now you can almost not think of Nike shoes without the air pocket, right? It's still a thing going back to the 1980s and still very popular today. But the idea of 3D printed shoes, now there's no release date for these scheduled or anything like that. They haven't revealed plans for a wider general release. Right now it's just sort of being done in the confines of Nike. But the 3D printed shoes are available for you to check out. They even got a sandal that they're going to design here from Nike.
The world of 3D printing has always kind of fascinated me, going back to years ago when I think it was one of those Ivy League schools first 3D printed something that you could eat. And when that came out and it was like, wait a minute, we all think of printers as printing off documents and files and paperwork. Well, now you can eat things and now you can wear things that are being 3D printed. The whole thing is fascinating. I had a friend of mine 3D printed me a chess piece at one point, and you could make a whole set of chess pieces just by pushing a couple of buttons.
Pretty amazing stuff. Hey, we are out of time here on Wisconsin's Midday News. I want to thank each and every one of you for making this program a part of your day each and every day. It really does mean so much to Jessica and I, and Adam when he's able to fill in, and Gina, our producer. Anybody who touches this program, we really do appreciate it. We launched in February. We're still having so much fun, and you're a big reason why. So happy Thanksgiving to you and all those you care about the most. Hope you're able to spend some time with each other the rest of this week and weekend. News is coming up, followed by Spanning the State.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.